In this video, we'll talk about halo effect. It refers to people's tendency to like or dislike everything about a person, including things they have not observed. For example, handsome baseball players are more likely to be overvalued than other players. Tall people have a stunning capacity to charm. Standing over 6 feet tall, they possess an air of natural authority in committee meetings, personal interactions, and other social settings. The problem is not about the charm and authority, but that people tend to equate the charm and authority with competence. When a handsome and confident speaker walks onto the stage, you can anticipate that the audience will judge his comments more favorably than he deserves. This halo effect can explain why we often assume that highly attractive individuals are also intelligent, ethical people, and why they tend to get hired more easily. Physically attractive people reap the benefits of the halo effect. We all enjoy interacting with physically pleasing people. When we see physically attractive people, our brain's dopamine system is very active, giving us a sense of pleasure. Under the spell of the halo effect, we tend to associate a job candidate's physical attractiveness with the candidate's superior job performance. For example, to choose whom to hire for a teaching position, a principal may choose an attractive new teacher over an experienced teacher who already has glowing recommendations from her previous two schools. Other people on the interview panel opposed to the school principal's decision. But the principal justified the decision by arguing that parents would love the attractive new teacher. The job is then offered to the new teacher who only works for 1 year in the school due to incompetence at her job. People with attractive faces are often seen as more trustworthy, socially competent, better adjusted, and more capable in school and work. The correlation between attractiveness and positive character traits leads to a stereotype of beautiful is good. By contrast, we also tend to associate facial disfigurement, such as scars, birthmarks, skin cancers, with negative traits. Our brains have an automatic response, creating a stereotype of disfigured is bad. Leaders often seem to have a halo, which makes them appear sharp and smart. If you are tall, good looking, educated, articulated, and narcissistic, the world is your oyster. Your life is easier if you are rich and incompetent than poor and smart. How many politicians and leaders are good looking, educated, articulated, narcissistic, but incompetent? Under the influence of the halo effect, their jokes are funnier, their wisdom is wiser, their perspective are wider, their questions are more probing. Leaders occasionally treat their own insufficiently informed judgments as if they are clever than they actually are. The halo can be fun to experience, especially if you have an ego. But it is also a real problem. It encourages happy talk and it makes the group decisions more likely to go awry. Influenced by the halo effect, people usually are not able to discern between confidence and competence. We commonly misinterpret confidence as competence. When it comes to leadership, the display of confidence, mostly overconfidence and hubris, is interpreted as charisma and charm. Many charismatic leaders are narcissists, having a tendency to abuse power. Narcissism is a personality trait encompassing grandiosity, arrogance, self absorption, entitlement, fragile self esteem, and hostility. Narcissism is an attribute of many powerful leaders. Narcissistic leaders have grandiose belief systems and leadership styles, and are generally motivated by their needs for power and admiration, rather than empathetic concern for the followers and organizations they lead. What's worse, people tend to elect self centered, arrogant, overconfident, narcissistic individuals as leaders because narcissists also possess the charisma and grand vision that are vital to effective leadership. In fact, many leaders have dark triad personality traits: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. However, these personality traits that enable them to rise to the position of power are exactly the same traits that make them fall from grace. This is because sustainable leadership requires the ability to listen, to be open minded, to align people's self interest with the group interest, and to inspire people to work for the common interest of the group. But narcissist leaders do not listen. They prioritize their own self interest, often at the expense of the group interest. They take the credit of the group. They create a culture of fear. They blame victims while excuse favorites, and bully and threaten people when they block the leader's selfish behavior. More often than not, these incompetent, narcissistic leaders charm people when they first arrive at a new organization. With their heavy handed tactics and top down decision making being considered as visionary and decisive, they might bring short term success for the organization. The short term achievement of an organization is mostly short lived. But in the long run, the heavy handed tactics and top down decision making leads to the inability of people work together productively in an organization. Right before the productivity begins to fall and employee turnover begins to increase, those leaders move to another organization, with the short-lived success enshrined permanently as their extraordinary leadership skills to secure the next bigger and more powerful leadership position. In this video, we talk about the halo effect. It refers to people's tendency to like or dislike everything about a person, including things they have not observed. Now it is time for you to provide an example of the halo effect and reflect on how it influences decisions made by you or the people around you.